Some pigs leaving out right there. They got a whole group. They had a whole group in there, baby. All right, let's get to them. Wait. Bosco, wait. Wait. Go to him, go to him, go to him. Hey everybody, this is Joey with Atomic Outdoors, and in today's video we're going to talk about Dog Hunting 101 or Hog Dog Hunting 101. I had a comment in one of my videos about what is a bay dog, and it got me thinking, like, you know, a lot of people that watch my videos may not hunt, and they may not know a lot about what we do, so I wanted to give a little bit of an education on stuff as best I know how. I've been doing this for the better part of 25 plus years. I don't know how. Yeah, I'm trying to think how old I am. Anyways, so I've been doing it, you know, the majority of my life, and so I have a good bit of experience with dogs. So Amos here, this is Amos. He's a full-blooded Catahoula, registered Catahoula. He's a fine specimen of a dog, I think. He is a good-looking boy, and he's just really, he's my best dog. And he shows out and shows up every time I take him hunting. You know, he has his off days just like any good athlete does. But what Amos is, he's a bay dog. And what bay dogs do for us, they go out in the woods, they find the hogs, and then once they find the hogs, they bark at it and they keep it at bay. If you've ever watched like a cattle dog or any kind of herding dog, and that's what they are essentially, you know, they're used for that. They keep them still. And why we need them to keep them still is because we're coming in, depending on the style of hunting you do, with dogs on a chain, and I'll get to that next. We come in with our bulldogs and stuff, and we walk them to the bay where he's barking at it, him and maybe a couple other dogs, and they keep them still for us. They find them, they keep them still for us, or at least, you know, in the general location. They may run off a little bit, but, you know, the dogs sit there and work the hog. And you know, one good thing about that is they kind of wear the hog out a little bit, so when the bulldogs get there, they're not having to fight a real lively hog. So that's why we use bay dogs, and that's what he's good for. And Amos here is one of the best I've seen do it in my pack. He's a good dog, and he does a good job for me. I know y'all probably don't see a lot of that in my videos just because it's so thick, but Amos does a good job. He's a good bay dog. He's getting some age on him, but that's what we use bay dogs for. So if you're in the term bay dog in the hog hunting world, you know, that's what they are. And, you know, a lot of times they don't get beat up too bad. Amos, if you come in real close, you know, you can see he got some injuries, you know, from hogs. That was the last hog we caught a few days ago. Yeah, they get beat up sometimes, but they tend to live a little longer and have less injuries. So this is Amos, and Amos is a bay dog. Blackjack here is a Dogo pit crossed with a Catahoula, and he would what we would call in my world a run and catch dog, or if you see online people call them like RCDs, but it's a run and catch dog. And he would you like that? He's a good boy, so I use him as a lead-in catch dog, which I'll get to that too. But he can, what you want to run and catch dog for is he runs in and runs out in the woods. He finds the hog himself and catches the hog. For most of my hog hunting career, this is what I ran, was a run and catch dog. So yeah, these dogs here, not only do they find the hog on their own, they catch the hog just like a regular catch dog would do, and they hold it until we get there. So when I run these style dogs, I usually run, me personally, I run about 6 of them together. And that's just what I did when I was younger and had good success. I caught lots and lots of hogs with run and catch dogs before I ever found me any bay dogs. And but then what they're good for is they just, when they find a hog, it's action right off the bat. You know, if you got a smaller place to hunt, you know, this is probably your go-to style of dog, because they're not gonna run as far as a hound most of the time. You don't want them to, and you know, you just catch a lot of hogs with them. We when we used to run cornfields a lot, which we still do sometimes, that's all we would take, would be some kind of run and catch dog or bulldog, because you don't really want a lot of hunting to go on, because you know the hogs are in there. We caught piles of them with dogs like that. And really, Blackjack is a good dog. He can hunt on his own if I want him to. Some of my hunts he does. But yeah, so that's what you want to run and catch dog for, in my opinion. You don't want them to have a ton of range. You don't want these dogs to be out there a mile, because if they catch a hog a mile away from you, then you know they're going to be fighting that hog for that long, and they get beat up bad. So the ones that I've had that were rangy, they look like, you know, they look rough because they get beat up a lot, and but you know, they lose their teeth because of that. That's kind of the reason I kind of moved away from that style of dog. It's just, you know, I was just tired of vet bills, to tell you the truth, and getting your dogs just beat all to pieces. You do catch a lot of hogs with dogs like this, but you also get a lot more injuries, in my opinion, than you do with having bay dogs and lead and catch dogs. But yep, this is Blackjack, and he is a run and catch dog. Can you see me? See me? And all my dogs, he's got the best manners of all my dogs. He just, so this is how he is. When you're putting a vest on him or a collar on him, this is how he is. He just trying to make out with you. So good dogs, man. He's just a good boy. This is Mac. Mac here. Mac is a pit bull, and he is a lead and catch dog. And I didn't put him up there because Mac's a little afraid of heights. He's funny like that. But anyways, so what Mac does is we walk him in on a leash, and he catches the hog essentially. I usually have 2 or 3 of them that I do this with, and he's being bashful with the camera. But Mac's a good boy. But what you have a lead and catch dog for is, like I said, we walk him in on a leash, and you know, he goes to the hog. What Amos is baying up and the other dogs are baying up, we walk him into it, and you know, we may turn him loose 100 yards out. That's what I try to do. No further than 100 yards out, so he's not having to run too far. And ideally, if we could see it, you know, that's even better. But that's what we do here. Some people walk them in on a leash. Some people use their handheld to control them. I can do either one with him. He's excited right now. He wants to be running free, and he knows my chickens are over there too, so he'd love to have them. But he'd like to have a chicken lunch. But anyways, Mac is a good boy, and this is what you use mainly with your pit bulls and stuff. Not saying they can't be running catch dogs, because they can, but we really just want them there for the battle, so to speak, the fight and catching the hog. We want them to be fresh, because you never know what you're walking in on. Mac has he's caught some big hogs for me. He's actually found and caught some big hogs for me. You know, he just he broke loose after we caught a hog not too long ago, and we caught the hog, dispatched the hog, and then he takes off, and must have been 400 or 500 yards away, caught a big sow about 300 pounds, and he had to sit there and fight her for that long. And he did a good job. He held her, but he was wore out after that. And you know, ideally, you know, you don't want that to happen, because you don't want to hunt the rest of the day, and he was done that day. Thankfully, I had other catch dogs. But anyway, so if you hear the term lead in catch dog, this is what they're talking about. You're walking them in on a leash to the bay, and they're usually trying to pull you down. But I got him. But that's what they're talking about with your lead in catch dogs. And Mac is he's a good one, y'all. And you want a good listening dog, and who will listen and do what you want them to do, especially with these bulldogs, because they can be rough sometimes. But anyways, guys, that's your 101 with hog hunting with dogs. And if you got any questions, leave a comment below, ask me. And if there's anything else you want to see, let me know. And just like I said, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a good one.